Yo, what's going on, y'all? What's going on? Y'all go ahead and hit the likes as soon as y'all come in. I'm back at y'all with another live. Mazuma TV is live. You let the people know. I'm looking a little crazy right now, but it is what it is. Shout out to everybody that's in the building thus far. We got some things that we currently need to discuss that's going on in the boxing world, man. We got some things that we need to discuss. So come on in. Let's get to work, people. Some crazy things going on in this world, cousin. What's up? What's up? Y'all go ahead, hit the like button. Let's get the algorithm on the up so the people know that Mazuma TV is live. Let's get it popping. I'm about to go ahead and get my laptop real quick. Ooh. J Cash, what up? Coffee Plant, what up? He said, salute Mazuma Nation. Absolutely. Shout out to all the members. Shout out to the loyal supporters. Shout out to the new subs that's in the building. We about to show y'all why Mazuma TV is the home of boxing excellence. Thomas Hill, what's going on, brother? He said, Mazuma, my guy, salute. And yeah, I liked it. Like my man's that says, now walk away. Oh, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. He said, I like that. Now walk away from me. Is that what you talking about, Thomas Hill? Let me know. Marlon 2631, what up? Tago in the motherfucking building. What's going on? What's going on? How we feeling? How's our night going? This was a day off for me from work, so I'm feeling refreshed, feeling revitalized, rejuvenated, all that good stuff, man. We got some things that we need to discuss. We're gonna talk about Tyson Fury to make his boxing return in 2026, according to Turkey Al-Sheikh. We're gonna talk about where is the Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach 2 announcement. Is the fight gonna happen in August? Is it not gonna happen in August? Does the fight happen at all? We definitely gonna talk about that. Then, of course, we're gonna get into some open boxing topics. You see what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's in the building. Yeah, Coffee Plant, Tyson Fury, according to Turkey Al-Sheikh. You know, I could pull up the post right here for you if you'd like. Tyson Fury is looking to make his return to the boxing ring in 2026 because even though he said he was going to retire, you know what I mean? He said he was going to retire, but we know that, you know, Tyson Fury is he cuckoo. You know what I'm saying? So he's not somebody who really stands by his word a lot. You know what I mean? So are we necessarily shocked at all? No, not really. Not really. He's a bit of a fraud, actually. Let's see. Let's pull this up. Let's see. I'm having trouble finding it right now. Actually, pull this up. All right, we're just gonna pull this up from Boxing News 24. You know what I'm saying? Do I fuck with Tyson Fury? Absolutely not. My point remains consistent. I don't fuck with drug cheats. You know what I'm saying? So there's no room, no space for me to, you know, rock with Tyson Fury, to be honest with you. And if I'm ever rocking with a drug cheat, you better believe it's because the person that he's going against is significantly worse or the same. You feel what I'm saying? I never was a big fan of Tyson Fury. You know what I mean? This is somebody who's openly said the N word. A lot of people overlook that. This is somebody that said that the reason why he had failed the drug test was because he was eating wild boar testicles. You know, that's who Tyson Fury is. Then of course, you know, manipulating the gloves and the Deontay Wilder fight. I know a lot of people hate Deontay Wilder, but so they don't really care to speak on that. But you know what I mean? Just coming from boxing, you can't tell me how the way that glove was moving that he wasn't manipulating the gloves. And he has been caught in previous fights, older fights, early on in his career where he's been caught by referees manipulating his gloves. You know what I mean? Sparring partners coming out and saying how, he took all the padding out of his gloves for sparring sessions. And bro, all of these things is not a coincidence. This is somebody who struggles with mental health issues from what I understand, and, partakes in drinking heavily and getting into recreational drugs. Like, I don't know if you could trust that type of guy. You feel what I'm saying? So no, I've never been a fan of Tyson Fury, not at all. And I'm not lying about the wild boar testicle shit. Like, that was something that was really said in attempting to justify failing a performance enhancement drug test. You feel what I mean? Shout out to everybody that's in the building. J Cash said, we better not get Usyk versus Fury 3. Well, according to Turkey Al-Sheikh, it seemed like he whipped the shits. And this just goes on to further prove my point about Turkey Al-Sheikh, man. You know what I mean? I appreciate Turkey Al-Sheikh and what he does for the sport of boxing. I like what he brings to the table. And I feel like a lot of fights wouldn't have been made if it wasn't for Turkey Al-Sheikh being generous with, the money that he receives from Saudi Arabia. You know what I'm saying? I genuinely believe we would have never saw a better beef and Bivol without Turkey Al-Sheikh. I don't think we would have seen Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury without Turkey Al-Sheikh, because, prior to Turkey Al-Sheikh stepping in, they done had a lot of issues in terms of agreeing to, paydays and shit like that. I mean, Turkey Al-Sheikh had to be generous enough to make these guys, a shit ton of money. He had to bring a shit ton of money to the table to get these guys to sign the dotted line. You feel what I'm saying? But Turkey Al-Sheikh revealed today that he's spoken to Tyson Fury, and he gave his word to fight in Riyadh season in 2026. This is a quote from Turkey Al-Sheikh right here. Let me see. It says something along the lines of, let me see. Al-Sheikh added that they have to rabbit hunt, which means he's going to attempt to negotiate a trilogy match between Fury and unified 3-belt heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk. Now, Usyk is in the middle of getting ready for a fight right now. You know what I mean? To getting ready for Daniel Dubois, which could put him in position to be, two-time undisputed champion in the heavyweight division. And, I don't think anybody deserves a fight more than Daniel Dubois. So I'm actually very excited for that fight to see if Daniel Dubois can make the adjustments necessary to get to the top of the heavyweight division after falling short to Alexander Usyk, and a stoppage loss the last time they fought. You know what I mean? I feel like Daniel Dubois has made a complete 180. He seems more confident. It seems like he's more sure about himself going into this fight. He seems very confident, overall. It just seems like a totally different energy from Daniel Dubois since racking up these few wins. And it's a fight that I'm looking forward to seeing nonetheless. You feel what I mean? But according to Turkey Al-Sheikh, he sat down, he spoke with Tyson Fury, and it seems like Tyson Fury is willing to, he's actually requesting to fight Alexander Usyk again for a third fight, but he's demanding that the fight happens in London. In London. You see what I'm saying? Now, that's a bit of a head scratcher if you're asking me personally, because in my humble opinion, in all honesty, I don't feel like Tyson Fury should be able to dictate the setting of the fight at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand that Tyson Fury is a hot commodity in the UK and it can make sense and things of that nature, but you know what I mean? Turkey Al-Sheikh, he's admitted to losing money in just about every event that he's created thus far, but because he loves the sport of boxing that much, he doesn't really care to lose money. And like I said, when you get in that motherfucking Saudi money, you know what I mean? You make that money back 10 times over shortly after the event, is over with. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't think they're necessarily tripping about that. So Turkey Al-Sheikh, not somebody who necessarily cares for numbers. You know what I mean? In terms of, generating huge paydays. He's giving these guys huge paydays. You know what I mean? So he don't really care how much the fight generates because he's doing it for, you know, for reasons that have to do with like tourist attractions in Riyadh, bringing more attention to Riyadh. That's what he care about. He don't care about making a profit off of these events. You know what I mean? He wants Riyadh to be the entertainment center of the world, and he understands that if he gets close to that, goal, then that's when the real money gonna come in. You feel what I'm saying? But hold on, let me scroll down real quick. Wait, what's going on with my chat? Hold on real quick. This nigga T-Man said you about to catch these hands. Before or after your mom catches these nuts in her mouth? Let me know which one. Smoochy, what up? But yeah, man, that's what Turkey Al-Sheikh look like he's planning on doing now. I'm a bit confused in this situation. And I said Tyson Fury he's not really the one to ever dictate, where the location is going to be at the end of the day, because for real, you lost both fights. So do you necessarily have a say so of where this fight takes place? You 0-2 on the board, bro. So if you really want this fight with Alexander Usyk, which you don't deserve in all honesty, but like Bivol better, Bivol better be, regardless of how the way we looked at it, is 1-1. So it makes sense to do a trilogy. You 0-2. There's no rivalry here. You lost both times. He beat you both times. So who are you to say, oh, I want that trilogy with Alexander Usyk, but I want it to be a fair fight, so it has to be done in London? Bro, you're nobody to come to the table and demand that. You feel what I'm saying? If you want to fight in London, why don't you do that with somebody who happens to be from London? The fight that we actually want to see you in, and that's Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury. Simple. Yeah. Coffee. He says that he wants a fair fight because he sat back and watched the fight 250 times, and each time he's watched it, he felt like he won the fight. You know what I'm saying? He felt like he won the fight. So that's his opinion. I disagree heavily with that opinion. I thought Alexander Usyk did enough to beat him both times. You know what I'm saying? But I understand that they were competitive fights, but nonetheless, I still feel like there was a clear victor in both situations. So I found it interesting that Tyson Fury looked at it in that light. And that's just Tyson Fury being a sore loser. You know what I mean? We seen Deontay Wilder get called a sore loser for, having his reasons for why he lost to Tyson Fury, and that may be true. But I don't see that same energy with Tyson Fury when he's out here making these excuses. But it is what it is, man. Like I said, the black fighter in boxing always has the tougher time when it comes to criticism from boxing fans or so-called boxing fans. Lorenzo, what up? You know what I'm saying? But you want the fight to happen in the UK because it'll be more fair for you, right? Why don't you just step away from the Usyk fight, man? You just come to the reality that you lost both times. You know what I mean? Each loss that you got in your professional career has come from that, man. All right, cool. So I think you should step back from that situation and give us the fight that we actually want to see happen in London. You know what I'm saying? Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. Y'all can have that shit happen at the Wembley, the O2, wherever the fuck y'all want to do it. Somewhere in the UK is gonna sell regardless. We got 19 people in the building, man. Let's get 19 likes, man. Let's get 19 likes in the building. Come on, let's get it popping. Let's get the algorithm on the up, y'all. Y'all slacking. Y'all slacking with me, man. It don't cost nothing to show a nigga love, man. Let's get it popping. He said, yep, it was Ralph said, yep, it was crickets for Fury's excuses he made. Absolutely. Everybody knew that he was full of shit. You know what I mean? But nobody jumped out and, criticized him the way they criticized Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying? But, it is what it is. That's just what happens in our sport, unfortunately. You feel me? So Tyson Fury is looking to make his his comeback to Riyadh season in 2026. And Turkey Al-Sheikh letting you know what he wants to do with Tyson Fury. And that's get a trilogy going with Alexander Usyk. And this just goes to prove, and I've been saying this about Turkey Al-Sheikh, I don't think he really cares for the fights that the fans truly want. You know what I mean? I think he cares more about what he wants. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like Turkey Al-Sheikh is selfish at times when it comes to matchmaking. Like I said, a couple fights that I've seen probably wouldn't have happened without Turkey Al-Sheikh being involved and being generous with his paydays. However, there's a lot of big fights that the fans have been requesting that I feel like Turkey Al-Sheikh could definitely make, in all honesty, that, he doesn't care to make. He just cares about, what he finds to be entertaining. He claims that he cares for the boxing fan and that, he wants to make the big fights happen and he's listening to the fans. I heard him say that on multiple occasions. But each time we ask you to make a fight, well, not each time, but there's times where we ask to make these big fights like Canelo Benavidez. And I seen that he said he was going to try to convince Canelo, but he didn't make the fight happen. We already done had 2 fights between Better Beef and Bivol. We want to see Bivol defend his titles against the Mexican monster, David Benavidez. You don't want to give David Benavidez an opportunity. Instead, you're trying to have this motherfucker fighting Alcatraz. You feel what I'm saying? Anonymous says Fury is a sore loser. He's definitely a sore loser. Definitely a sore loser, but I don't never hear anybody call Tyson Fury that. I've seen a lot of sore loser comments about Deontay Wilder, though. Deontay Wilder gets the first loss of his career against Tyson Fury. He talked, and you know, to me, when Deontay Wilder was, you know, naming all these things that could have possibly hindered his performance, I think people took it as excuses. I took that as him being clueless as to what happened. So he was just thinking of different scenarios, like, damn, maybe it was, you know, the heavy costume. Damn, maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe somebody did something in my water. Damn, you know what? Like, I think that he was just traumatized by taking his first professional loss. It was trying to find a reason for why things went the way it went. But they fried him regardless. And, you know, yeah, it was excuses. All right. Well, you know, if that's excuses, which I agree to is definitely excuses, why are we not criticizing Fury how the way we criticize Wilder? The double standard is crazy, bro. That complexion for that complexion for the protection shit is really real in the sport of boxing. Yo, that's a funny ass comment. I ain't gonna read it. That's funny. So yeah, man. That's just what I'm noticing. You feel what I'm saying? But you know, I guess Turkey Al Sheikh the one putting the bread up, or he in charge of putting the bread up. So I guess he gets to call, you know, whatever he feels is in the best interest of Riyadh, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. He said, what the Halliburton? Yeah, that's crazy. Ralph says it's ironic because Fury had told Wilder he should just accept the loss, but Fury turns around and makes excuses for his losses. Exactly. 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 It's all, you know, advice always good to give to other people until it's time for you to take it. You feel what I'm saying? You ever met somebody who, a fucking expert at giving advice, but when they face that same scenario as the person they gave the advice to, they not following the advice that they gave out. You feel me? Like, shit is hilarious to me. It is quite ironic, actually. You know what I mean? But I guess there ain't really much to speak on besides that. I guess in 2026 we'll figure out what Tyson Fury chooses to do with his career. You know, I knew that retirement shit was fake. I feel like that was all a ploy to, you know, get himself back in the mix. And when he comes back into the picture, you know, there'll be such a demand for him that they're gonna have to pay him the big dollars. You know what I mean? Fury care about his money, and he's made a shit ton of money. You know, especially since coming back into the sport and fighting Wilder, for instance, and Ngannou. You know what I mean? Alexander Usyk the 2 times. He's made a shit ton of money. So he a businessman. You feel me? But hopefully in 2026 we not talking about a trilogy with Alexander Usyk, and we talking about a big mega fight in the UK between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, and hopefully that gets done before it's too late. You know what I mean? Eddie Hearn has spoken about how Anthony Joshua, you know what I mean, he's not going to be in the sport too much longer. You know, Fury, he undecided on whether he want to remain active or retire. So that just means he got one foot out the door. So let's see it before they, you know, walk away completely. You feel what I mean? Because you know, if you could retire 2-3 times, but you know eventually, you know what I mean, one of them retirements is going to be serious. So before it gets serious, and you know they're not enthused with the sport anymore, they can't keep up with the sport physically or mentally. They need to go ahead and lock that fight in. Just my personal opinion. You feel what I'm saying? Let's get the likes up, people. Let's get the likes up. Marky Dan, what up? What's going on? What's going on? So, you know, let's transition to the next conversation, man. Let's just carry on and talk about the whole Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach situation, because as each day is going on, I'm starting to get more concerned on what's actually happening. Now, there was a rumor going around that I believe Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach were supposed to fight August 16th. You know what I mean? Everything seemed like it was on the up. It seemed like everybody was optimistic at one point in time, and that the fight was definitely going to happen. You see what I'm saying? So I remember I was speaking about it as if, it was a real thing. And, I done seen multiple websites that had stated that the fight was official for August 16th of this year in Las Vegas, right? Cool. So, typically when a fight is made, there's an official announcement. You know what I mean? There's a press conference, there's media workouts, there's media scrums, like interviews and, media tours and stuff like that. Like we usually see these things, right? An undercard gets announced and all that good stuff. That's what we typically see. But now it is currently July 2nd. We're in the first week of July. And looking at the calendar that I have right here, we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on. Hold on. I lost track. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 weeks and some change away from the alleged date that Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach are supposed to fight in. So that's a month and a half. We have a good month and a half until the fight happens. Now, I've seen some people come out and say, oh, the fight's already sold. That's why they don't have to do, any type of media. And that's why they don't have to make no fight announcements. Bro, do y'all know how stupid y'all sound? Do y'all know how stupid y'all sound to make that assumption? Y'all are so hell-bent on defending Gervonta Davis that y'all go against y'all logic and y'all don't do y'all fucking homework. Now, the biggest pay-per-view star ever so far has been Floyd Money Mayweather, right? When you look at the highest selling pay-per-views of all time, Floyd Mayweather is all over that list. The Manny Pacquiao fight, the Conor McGregor fight, the Canelo Alvarez fight. He's all over that list, right? I remember Floyd saying, and this is somebody who's done huge events, and multiple pay-per-views. He says that it takes 6 months to build up a good pay-per-view, right? 6 months to build a good pay-per-view. And this is somebody who was a far bigger star than Gervonta Davis. Far bigger star than Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is a hot commodity in boxing. You know what I mean? He definitely is tapped. The casual boxing fans are too thin with Tank. You know what I mean? And things of that nature. But Floyd was on a totally different level, to the point where he getting percentages of hotels. Like Floyd, Las Vegas loved whenever Floyd Mayweather fought in Vegas because he generated that city billions of dollars, to the point where he's getting percentages of hotel rooms that's getting booked, at the MGM or around the MGM. That's how huge of a star Floyd Mayweather was. You know what I'm saying? So Floyd Mayweather saying it takes 6 months to build a pay-per-view. So, Gervonta Davis only needs 6 weeks. And it might not even be 6 weeks because it might not even be announced this week. We midway through this week, to be honest with you. And today, Wednesday. You know what I mean? So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and 5 days, a whole new week is ahead of us. And we don't hear anything from Premier Boxing Champions. We don't hear anything from Gervonta Davis. All he doing is yapping with motherfuckers on social media, going back and forth with dudes on social media. This dude, Lamont Roach, is training. No announcement on his side. You know what I mean? He believes that Gervonta Davis, is scared and he's avoiding the rematch. He on Twitch streaming. He's streaming on Twitch. That's the only type of promotion that the fight getting right now. Lamont Roach is playing video games, talking to and engaging with the fans as he's playing video games. That's the only promotion that has come thus far from, either one of the fighters. So salute to Lamont Roach for that. Cause at least, he keeping his name relevant. He keeping his name on the scene, and he's making it his business to continue to attach his name to Gervonta Davis. That's what he's supposed to do, especially when you supposed to be fighting a man on August 16th. Tank deactivated Twitter. He should. He talk too fucking much. You talk about everything, so what the fuck you need to talk about? Then I got people in my messages. Well, I got people sending me DMs on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter talking about, yo, bro, did you see what Gervonta Davis just tweeted, man? Did you see Nick? No, I don't care. I don't care. Does it have to do with boxing? I'm gonna tell y'all something right now. I could give a fuck about what a fighter do outside of boxing. I could care less. They sent me videos of Gervonta Davis smoking weed in the elevator. So what? They showing Lamont Roach shotgun a beer at a basketball game. All right, so what? David Benavidez snort cocaine when he be partying. So what? So what? What does that have to do with boxing? And I know that, and I understand y'all probably thinking I'm on the same type of time as these other channels that be, posting dudes mug shots and talking about they personal situations with their baby moms. And bro, I done went through all of that myself. So the last thing I want to hear is what another nigga going through with their mother, with the mother of their child. I done went through that. I done been to every court imaginable. I done went through my trauma dealing with that whole shit. And for those of y'all who, follow the channel, y'all know what I'm talking about. I done shed tears on this motherfucker speaking about my personal issues. You think I want to be triggered hearing somebody else's situation? I don't give a fuck about that, bro. I don't. If we not breaking down a fight, if we not doing debates about fights, we not bringing up what's currently going on in the boxing world, not personal life, boxing world, then what's the point in even talking about it? We're not doing fight breakdowns. Like, this is Mazuma TV. Mazuma Boxing. I think that was the first name of my channel. It was Mazuma Boxing. Then I changed it to Mazuma TV. It's always been about boxing. Look at the channel description. We talk about boxing. We don't sit here on some TMZ shit with motherfucking papers in front of us and talk about what type of chrome heart collection that Gervonta Davis wear today. Oh man, look at the essential boost that Devin Haney had on for the Ryan Garcia fight. Oh my God. Look at Rolly Romero's WBA iced out chain. Bro, I don't give a fuck about none of that. Because don't none of that shit make you a better fighter. Yeah, this ain't Mazuma TMZ. We don't do none of that. That's chatty patty shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, niggas be talking about Tank braids and shit. Man, look at Tank's latest braids, man. Man, it's just something about the way Tank braids swing that just gets me going. Like, super weird behavior. Very Caitlyn Jenner-like behavior that we don't get into over here, brother. We don't. We don't. Like, I had people ask me in the DM about Devin Haney, uh, you know, baby mom situation. Bro, listen, that's Devin Haney business. And I can't sit here and defend, I can't defend him, and I can't go against him neither because I don't know the situation. There's only 3 people that know what happened in that situation. That's Devin Haney, the woman, and God. One person, Devin gonna tell one story, she gonna tell another story, and they gonna have to figure shit out in court, I guess. I don't know. But it's just so annoying, like, that y'all want me to speak on people's personal life. Bro, would you want somebody speaking about your personal life when they supposed to be talking about what you do as a career? Like, no, not really, bro. Like, that's weird. That's super weird to me. Big bundle of sticks behavior facts. Yeah, super blade activity. Feel me? That's just that's the shit that I be seeing in my DM, bro. I wake up every day to like 15 DMs, bro. 15 DMs, and that's just on Instagram. I don't even be tapped in with TikTok and Twitter all like that. I be having to have my homies be texting me personally, like, yo, go check Twitter, yo, go check TikTok, yo, go check this real quick. Because I don't be tapped in on anything besides Instagram. And I don't even check the YouTube comments like I used to. People be having to tell me if Tiafimo Senior commented on my page. People be having to tell me that Brian Norman Senior commented on my page. Like, bro, I don't be tapped. Bro, I don't be caring about what people be doing. He said moist behavior. That's hilarious. That's a fact, though. That's a fact. I'm a whole father out here running a business and having a whole separate job outside of that. I'm about to be on TV this Sunday on MSNBC with John Leguizamo, Latino legend. Like that's the shit I'm worried about. So for those of y'all who don't know, John Leguizamo got this TV show coming out this Sunday on MSNBC, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Leguizamo Does America. When you get in a lineup though, when your mother line her pubes up, that's when I'm gonna use them same clippers and line my shit up. You know what I mean? When your mother line that shit up downstairs, then I'm gonna line up my shit. We usually cut our hair at the same time. But Leguizamo Does America, he's pretty much going all around the country, supporting Latino community, seeing what they doing, how they supporting the community, all that good stuff. You know what I mean? He puts his own little, comedic twist to it. You know what I mean? So we're gonna be on MSNBC, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Pivot Boxing Academy. You feel what I'm saying? And we gonna do our thing. I don't think I'm gonna be on the TV show in all honesty, but for the ring introductions, I'm gonna give y'all a little spoiler. You know what I mean? They're gonna be doing a little bit of a ring introduction where we naming fighters that's coming into the ring. That's gonna be my voice. You feel what I'm saying? How can we watch? Like I said, it's on MSNBC. So if y'all have access to that channel on your TVs, you know what I mean? 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I don't know what part of the world y'all in, but you know what I mean? If y'all can easily Google Eastern Standard Time to Pacific Standard Time and stuff like that. So go ahead, check it out. We're gonna be on there. I don't know if my face is gonna show up on a TV screen. I don't know. They did a whole lot of filming, they do a whole lot of editing. I doubt it, to be honest with you, but one thing for certain, you're gonna hear my voice. So that's dope. My dad took all the camera time with his hogging ass. But it's a dope situation. I can't wait to watch it. I can't wait to see my dad on the TV screen. Like that's a beautiful moment. My pop been grinding for years with very little recognition. So it's well deserved. It's definitely well deserved. So let's get into some open boxing topics. You feel what I'm saying? Hold up, but before we get into that though, to expand on this Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach situation, what I personally believe is gonna happen, I genuinely feel like Blockbuster said, "I'm going to the next Diddy party. Are you coming?" No, but you might as well bring your mother because she known as like the I ain't gonna say that one. I'm trying, yo. I'm trying not to get demonetized out here in these streets. I'm trying. Never mind. We just gonna let them live, man. I ain't gonna do it. But I don't think the fight's happening August 16th. You know what I mean? At the fight, and I'm gonna tell y'all why. Because if you let this fight go on August 16th on 6 weeks' notice, bro, you pretty much are setting this fight up to fail. You're pretty much setting this fight up to fail. No promotion whatsoever. We're not getting any type of, like videos that I'm training in camp. We don't even know if Gervonta Davis is in camp. We hear a little stuff, but we don't see anything. That's another thing. Gervonta Davis, he ain't promoting the fight himself. What the most that he's done to promote this fight is talking about showing up to Lamont Roach's son's school and talking about where Lamont Roach lives and how he gonna pull up and how his family live here. And bro, what the fuck that got to do with boxing, bro? You ain't learned shit from Floyd. All you let Floyd do is brainwash you to believe that money is all that matters when he never even followed that in his career. You know what I mean? But you ain't listen to the other shit when he said you gotta know when to turn it on and when to turn it off. You put your energy into shit that don't make any sense, brother. Like, you should be looking to promote the fight by any means necessary. You threatening the man and making all these little subliminal street threats and shit like that. You ain't doing nothing but, like, I don't even know what you're doing, but it's not beneficial to you or your career. Why is Roach, the man who, an anonymous says, hold on, facts, Roach promoting the fight better than anybody. That's a fact. It's a fact. Like, how are you promoting the fight better than the motherfuckers supposed to be promoting the event? What the fuck is TGB doing? What are y'all doing? Don't y'all be promoting every fight? Ain't this an association with GTD Promotions? Like, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? Why are y'all just so slow? Like, ever since y'all left Showtime, y'all just been doing the bare minimum. Like, these press conferences look like as low budget as can be. Look like y'all streaming the fights off of y'all iPhones. Like these press events. Like, when they filming this shit in like an elementary school gymnasium with like a poster in the background. Y'all got like Twitch streamers being the like the mediators of the event. What are we doing? Anonymous, and this ain't the only time. This ain't the only time that they've done embarrassing stuff like this. They've constantly done the bare minimum. Like the David Benavidez and David Morrell fight. That shit was promoted horribly. Horribly. You got this lady who you could tell never mediated an event before. They in like this, they like in this gym. They like in this boxing gym. And she over talking the fighters. She not allowing the fighters to talk. Like, she was doing absolutely horrible. Like, the only thing that really helped promote that fight was the fact that both of the Davids didn't like each other. That was it. Plant wife do a better job. Yeah, where's she at? She over here. Shout out to her. I think like she got a baby on the way and shit like that. Shout out to the plants. But like, that's when Jordan Plant was around. That's when PBC had their shit together. Anybody who's ever done business with PBC at one point in time, they could tell you they were like the most hospitable people that you could ever do business with. I could tell y'all that personally. But like, this new version of PBC, bro, it's like it make, and I hate talking about people money. You know what I mean? Speaking about people's financial situations, but you can't tell me based off of how the way they moving that they doing well financially. You can't tell me that. She had the baby. Congrats. Congrats to the plants, man. That's beautiful. Ain't nothing like creating a family, bro. You know what I mean? And considering Caleb Plant's situation with his first daughter, of course you can never fill that void by having another kid because, your first child is your first child, but it's beautiful to see Caleb Plant, have kids and actually, have healthy babies. Fortunately, man, because his first daughter wasn't so healthy, and that's heartbreaking. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Like, that shit gets my chest tight whenever I try to stay away from them Caleb Plant, interviews where he talks about that, bro, because then I visualize my son and it breaks my heart in a million pieces, bro. Breaks my heart in a million pieces. But it's good to, I don't know if these kids provide any type of closure for him, but it's dope to actually see him have kids that, are healthy and, what I mean, are communicating with him and he can actually be the father that he wants to be. Because unfortunately, with his first daughter, he was pretty much very limited in what he could do with his daughter. So it's heartbreaking, of course, but shout out to him for keeping his head on straight and uh not losing sight of creating a beautiful little family. Yeah, baby coming out healthy is always a blessing. That's a fact. When my son was born, the first thing I did was check his feet and his toes, bro. It's the first thing I did. And I got video of it and all. Not of me like checking, but like the whole thing. I made sure I documented. And the first thing I did was check. I seen that like, yeah, I just wanted to make sure my baby was okay, man. And I watched him. I watched him the whole night. You know what I mean? So salute, salute. Um, but yeah, like you can't tell me the money ain't funny over there at this point, bro. Like, and look, man, like let's not act like the first Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach fight didn't fall through. No, everything's well, Marlon. I was just speaking on like, you know what I mean, making sure my baby was healthy when he was first born, and thank God he was. You know what I mean? Because you know when babies are born, you know the doctors had to get confirmation that they breathing. So the only way that you can get confirmation from them breathing is if they cry. When my son came out, he was quiet. So they pinched him real quick, and then he cried, and it was like a a sigh of relief. Yeah, the first fight almost fell through because of money. Yeah, I remember they had pushed it. I remember they were supposed to fight in like I don't even remember what the date was. But let's say it was like December. You know what I'm saying? And then they got pushed back because Gervonta Davis, reportedly was having issues with the money. You know what I'm saying? They had issues with the bread, and Gervonta Davis wasn't budging, so they had to push the fight back. And I don't know if they pushed the fight back to get their funds in order, or I don't know what they was doing. But I know they had some difficulties making the fight happen because initially they were supposed to fight in December, from what I believe, and then they didn't fight, and then they got pushed back to March. So why else? Why else would they push the fight back? See, look, it was mid-December, 2024. Yeah, I remember that. AD, you said I guarantee I'll sleep you under 20 seconds. Why? I mean, I doubt you could do that, but I bet you your mother tonsils can. Your mother's throat could probably sleep me in 20 seconds. You know what I mean? I wouldn't. I don't know about you, but I'm sure your mother can. So there's that. Um, Rob, that's a funny comment right there. But yeah, yeah, yeah. So I don't know, bro. I don't know what's going on with PBC and exactly what they got going on, but this is embarrassing, bro. Like I got this strong feeling that this fight gonna get pushed back, and there may be a possibility that this fight don't happen at all. I don't want to be a pessimist or anything like that and just be too negative or down on the fight because that's a fight that initially I didn't want, but now I need to see considering what happened in the first fight. So, you got Lamont Roach coming out here talking about Tank Davis is scared to get embarrassed, and that's why, he ain't signed his fight. He ain't signed for the fight yet and shit like that. And, you know, we have yet to get an announcement. So when Lamont Roach is saying shit like that, and there's no actions being taken as a result of that, you pretty much allowing the narrative to continue. You know what I'm saying? And I'm seeing this article right here. And it says Lamont Roach says Gervonta Davis is scared to get embarrassed by him in their rematch on August 16th in Las Vegas. He feels that WBO lightweight champion Tank is scared headed into the second fight. Roach states that he wants Davis to meet him in the center of the ring to see which one of them leaves with the win. This is what I'm seeing right here. You know what I mean? So I think this fight they gonna get pushed back, man. I ain't really tripping because there's a lot of big fights that's gonna be happening within the next few weeks. So I really ain't tripping. But you know, I guess we'll see. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. Maybe they'll make this fight announcement and then only have 5 weeks to promote the fight. Pretty much send that fight up the field, man. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna take more than 6 weeks to get the people in tune with a fight date. So what you gonna do? Have these guys, you know, you're gonna announce the fight now or next week, and then you're gonna have them on a media tour when they supposed to be in the heart of camp, and then like you setting them up for failure, bro. So when they supposed to be in the heart of camp focusing on their fights, they gotta go to the Breakfast Club, they gotta go over here, they gotta go, then they gotta do uh, uh, uh press conferences and bro, like they media workouts. Like niggas is not doing that on no fucking all in 6 weeks. They're not gonna have enough time to train. How they gonna train when they hopping off this plane to go here, then they going to this plane, they hopping on this plane at night to go here, and bro, it's not it's not gonna work. Low key might get pushed back to October. Facts. And that's even if, because y'all remember the press conference from Gervonta Davis. He sat there and he told you, "Yo, that fight not I want the rematch, but it's not gonna be next." Y'all remember he said that, and we was like, "How? Like what? What are we talking about? Why y'all not? Why you not giving us the rematch next?" Then Lamont Roach went on Twitter and was popping his shit. Gervonta Davis got emotional and said, "Oh, but we gonna do the rematch, man. We gonna do the rematch. We gonna do the rematch." I remember he said like the rematch was gonna be done in May or some shit. We in July. We in July. What are you talking about? So I wouldn't be surprised at the same time if Gervonta Davis completely scraps the rematch. He gonna find a way to blame Lamont Roach, and then he gonna go do this exhibition with Jake Paul. Garrett, like I could really see that happening because he told y'all that's what he was gonna do in the first place. He didn't want to. He didn't want to mention Jake Paul's name because he knew it was embarrassing to announce that he was gonna fucking fight a Jake Paul. He didn't want to get criticized for it, so he kept it to himself. If it was a fight that everybody wanted and everybody wanted to see, he would have had no problem announcing it publicly to justify not fighting Lamont Roach. He didn't say, "Oh yeah, I'm fighting Shakur. I'm fighting Shakur. I'm fighting Devin. I ain't fighting Keyshawn. I'm fighting Tiafimo." You're not fighting none of them. Yeah, I remember he said the end of May. We in July, brother. What the fuck is we even talking about? Tank, bro, I'm trying to tell you, that might just happen. I'm telling you, that might just happen. Tank might walk away from the Lamont Roach rematch because he don't give a fuck about what you think anyway. He don't care about the fights that you want to see. He said he not like these other boxers that care about belts and all. Like he just want to get his money and get out. He gonna make more money with Jake Paul in the exhibition, or he gonna make more money fighting Lamont Roach in a rematch, and which was a close fucking. And the first fight was a close fucking call. And he told y'all that his worst fear is losing because he don't want to get embarrassed and all this shit. Like this is a scary nigga, bro. He played like he this tough macho man ass nigga that get niggas to send niggas to pull up to your crib, and when it's really beef, we outside and like this little fucking garden gnome built ass nigga popping all this street shit whole time. He one of the most scariest motherfuckers out here. Motherfucker ain't take a chance and I don't know how long. This motherfucker fought Jose Pedraza in what, 2015, 2016? Motherfucker, like he ain't take a chance since he fought Pedraza. Motherfucker been walking on eggshells, just ducking L's and tough fights for damn near a decade. How you popping? How you still flexing a victory that you took a decade ago, and you still active, nigga? What is we even talking about? Motherfuckers heard the quote: "Chances make champions." Nigga took one chance and just fell back. They asked this nigga Tank if he cared about being a legend in boxing. He said he don't give a fuck because he feel like he a legend in Baltimore. What? Niggas want to be local legends? Niggas is that much of an underachiever? So you don't care to be great at anything. You just want to get your money and go home. Like, that's it. This motherfucker said, this nigga did an interview talking about he wanted to be a veterinarian. This nigga wants to help animals, take care of animals. Fuck boxing. Fuck catering to boxing fans that's paying you millions of dollars to throw punches for a living. You saying fuck the boxing fans. You only want the money. That's all you want. But you want to go to school and take care of dogs and cats and you know what I mean? If a parrot got an injured wing, you there to give them the medicine necessary to get strength back in that wing and they could fly again. That's what Gervonta Davis want to do, y'all. You don't fuck about this boxing shit. If your motherfucking dog got a tapeworm, Gervonta want to take care of that. Fuck giving you the biggest fights and for what? Nigga, the Chihuahua got arthritis. You gotta take care of that. He want to take care of that. Fuck boxing. Being a vet is a very honorable profession, Marky Dan. That's a fact. Shout out to the veterinarians out there. They make a lot more money than I do. But what I'm saying is, Gervonta Davis, who is known as a professional fighter, don't care about giving you the biggest fights. He don't care about legacy. He don't care about getting belts. A current professional fighter who's amongst the biggest names in the sport that has literally changed his life and created generational wealth for his family off of the back of boxing fans. Is telling you, fuck you. He don't care about what you want. He here to get his money and go home. And he feels like he will be more passionate being a veterinarian than a boxer. Nigga, veterinarian ain't gonna be Dr. Tank. Stupid ass nigga can't even that motherfucker get flustered saying intellect like professional words. I guarantee you that he couldn't pronounce like a disease. He'll have trouble pronouncing the name of a disease. I would love to hear Gervonta Davis say arthritis. You got asthma. You got asthma. You got asthma. Like what, yo? Got the dog got cancer for sure. The dog got cancer for sure. Man, get your big head, get your big head ass the fuck up out of here, nigga. Motherfucking diagnosing my dog, nigga. Fuck wrong with you? Yeah, Dr. Tank. Tank gonna be looking stupid as shit, looking little as shit in a big ass desk. Nigga, man, you got all this money. Fuck, you ain't about to sit here and be taking no motherfucker. You ain't about to be taking no notes, nigga. When's the last time you took notes, you stupid ass nigga? When's the last time you put together a PowerPoint presentation? When's the last time you ever did public speaking outside of doing a press conference where you be stumbling over your words and be having trouble saying shit anyway? How you gonna do that? Can you imagine Tank writing an essay? Can he write an essay in MLA format, nigga? Do you know how to indent? Do you know what button you like? Do you know how many spaces is in the indent? Do you know what font you need to write in? Do you know how to double space a paragraph? Your stupid ass don't know how to do none of that. Fuck you gonna man, this nigga Tank gonna get fried. That nigga gonna pay for his degree. You've been ranting but say you don't do chatty patty shit. Nigga, I'll do whatever the fuck I want to do on here. I said I don't be talking about niggas' personal life. What I'm saying is, I'm not about to be like, I ain't talking about this whole situation with Tank crying about his PO on social media. I don't give a fuck about none of that. But what I'm telling you is, Gervonta Davis said that he'd rather be a veterinarian than be a fucking boxer. So that's why I'm speaking on the situation. You want to add to the topic, nigga? Because it sounds like you pressed that I'm talking about Tank. So you in your feelings, or you want to add to the conversation? You want to steer the conversation in a different direction? Fuck out of here. Fuck you mean? I'm being a chatty patty, nigga. Sounds super dumb. Said we just calling out Tank, not who he says. Calling out Tank, not who he say he is. Facts. Nigga was watching the whole time. He put out a single comment. Then I said something he ain't like. Then he want to jump out and say something. Shut the fuck up. Ugh. And I said all that shit because the nigga don't give a fuck about what we want as boxing fans. And I'm saying there's a likelihood he might not fight in August. There's a likelihood that he might not fight Lamont Roach at all. How he might just go ahead and fight Jake Paul in the exhibition and chuck the deuces to the boxing game so he can go ahead and be a veterinarian. That's what he said he want to do. Man, you said you don't do. Man, you said you don't do the chatty patty shit. I'm telling you what Tank said he was going to do. Tank got to be certified and performing CPR on Raccoon. He ain't fighting no Jake, man. Okay. 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 So it's a coincidence that Gervonta Davis said the dude that he'll be fighting next. He said this after his draw with Lamont Roach, that post-fight press conference. He said that the dude that he was gonna fight next was in the crowd, and he was actually in the locker room. It was confirmed that Jake Paul was in the crowd and may have possibly been in the locker room. Then Jake Paul came out with an interview saying that he had a fight locked in with Gervonta Davis, but he chose to do the rematch with Lamont Roach instead. Is that all just a coincidence? Is that all just a coincidence, or am I just talking out my ass, or am I just being a chatty patty? Let me know. Then Jake Paul do an interview saying that he was going to rumble Gervonta, and it was going to be an exhibition because of the huge weight difference between the two. Here it is. Do we see that in November?
Yeah, no, we're working on it behind the scenes to make
the biggest name out here, Gervonta Tank Davis, 13 sellouts in a row, 3 division champion. You and him are very close to fighting. Do we see that in November?
Yeah, no, we're working on it behind the scenes to make that happen, and obviously that's a fight where the fans are going to win, and it's going to be the biggest event of the year.
What weight would you fight him at?
We're working on it, but it'd be an exhibition most likely.
So, hey, I want to know, can you bring glory back to Cleveland after that embarrassing loss by the Cavaliers, man?
Yeah, no, I mean it's always sad being a Cleveland sports fan.
There you go. Next just said Tank said he wanted to go undisputed. Tank said Shakur and Devin on his list. Okay, so let's so for the Gervonta Davis, when Gervonta Davis first announced his fight with Lamont Roach, I remember they sat down and they asked him about Shakur Stevenson. He said that Shakur Stevenson hasn't really done anything in his career, and he was getting mad that Shakur Stevenson's name was being brought up. Devin Haney, his team all talking about how, you know what I mean, he too big and Tank's really 130 pounder. You know what I mean? You know, if they have to fight Gervonta Davis, they're gonna have to come down to 35. This shit's not happening, bro. Didn't Jake have a signed contract with Canelo? No, he didn't. It was close to being signed, but it didn't happen. Turkey Al-Sheikh intercepted it. Ralph said Jake has never been to a Tank fight before. Jake just so happens to coincidentally go to a Tank fight. That fight was going to happen. The draw with Roach derailed it. Bingo. Bingo. There was some BS he said. The devil. Okay. Okay. They said there was in negotiations to do an exhibition, likely an exhibition, he said, in November. So we'll see. We'll see. Let's see what we'll be talking about in November. The son tells me I might be doing a live fight commentary to Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. That's what it sounds like to me. I'm telling you. He said he want to get the money and get up out of there. That's the perfect way to go out if you just concerned about the bread. Go ahead, get that Jake Paul. Jake Paul gonna cash you out. You do an exhibition, it's not gonna count towards your record. You can walk away undefeated. Why not? Because that's the thing. If he do this rematch with Lamont Roach, and let's say he loses somehow, some way he loses, that opportunity with Jake Paul completely out the window. That fight with Jake Paul completely out the window. Nobody's gonna want to see that. It's not gonna have the same. It's not gonna have that same appeal if you lose. Right? But if he still has the undefeated record, you know what I mean, and you know, all that good shit, you know what I mean, then there's still gonna be some room to attract the casual boxer fans and shit like that. And he could get a ginormous payday. Do you think he wants a Lamont Roach rematch to fuck that up? If he's all about the money like he says he does, you gotta think about it. So Tank look at Jake Paul as his biggest fight. Money-wise, yes. Money-wise, yes. It's just so funny that Devin Haney too big for him, according to his team, but Jake Paul not. And Jake Paul just fought at cruiserweight in his last fight, and then prior to that, he was a full-blown heavyweight. That's hilarious to me. It's just funny as shit what Tank fans will go through just to defending it. Jake Paul walking around 220 facts. We know that. That's a big motherfucker right there. And I ain't gonna lie, bro. To be honest with you, if Tank really follows through with this Jake Paul fight, bro, like he followed through with this Jake Paul fight, and like he takes that fight instead of the Lamont Roach rematch, and like doesn't give us any big fights, bro, like nothing. Like he just if he just walks away from the Lamont Roach rematch and he just goes and he fights Jake Paul in November, I hope Jake Paul knocks him the fuck out. Dead ass, bro. I really hope Jake Paul knock Tank out. I hope this motherfucker Jake Paul put everything he can behind that right hand and put Tank to sleep. for that fuck shit he doing, bro. Because you really doing boxing a disservice. You ain't give us none of the big fights we was looking to make at 130 pounds. You couldn't even give us a Tevin Farmer fight, bro. You couldn't get us a Tevin Farmer fight. You couldn't give us a Vasyl Lomachenko fight. Gary Russell Jr. running all around calling you all types of bitches. You ain't want to fight him. Then you go up to 135. You don't give us no big fights at 135, bro. But these motherfuckers all want to point and act like, you know, it's everybody else's fault except Tank's. It's everybody's fault except Tank whenever a fight don't happen. And then by the time you try to make a fight happen with Vasyl Lomachenko, he don't want to rumble no more. He don't want to rumble anymore. And this was after Vasyl Lomachenko lost to Devin Haney. Ellaby said Farmer turned down $2 million. Did he really? I don't know that situation. Let's take a look at that. So check this out. In 2019, Mayweather Promotions offered Tevin Farmer $2 million to fight Gervonta Davis. Farmer rejected the offer, feeling it was too low, especially since he was the IBF super featherweight champion at the time. He was also aware of a prior $5 million offer for Davis to fight him on DAZN, which he had turned down. So Tevin Farmer turned down the deal because he knew that there was more bread on the table. He said, yo, I'm a world champion. I could get more than $2 million for this, so I'm going to turn this down. So Eddie Hearn offers Gervonta Davis $5 million to fight on DAZN. And I'm assuming Tevin Farmer would have got more than $2 million himself. Gervonta Davis turns it down. So if we're going to talk about Tevin Farmer turning down $2 million to fight Gervonta Davis, then we also need to bring up Gervonta Davis turning down $5 million to fight Tevin Farmer on DAZN. Let's keep it 1,000. Let's keep this shit consistent. Okay, Tevin Farmer turned down 2. All right, Tank turned down 5. Who's we even talking about? Here we go. We talking about sides of the street. Sides of the street, okay. And Tank the A side, okay. Okay. Tank at the time wasn't this fucking big star that was making that much bread anyway. Tank ain't really start popping off till the fucking what fight was it that really took Tank to a new level? Was it the Ryan Garcia John? What really put Gervonta Davis at a different level where he started getting these big paydays? I don't even know. Like, I don't know. Yeah, like Santa Cruz. Yeah. Yeah, we can say that. Santa Cruz. Yeah, like Tank wasn't no fucking big name at the time. He turned down $5 million. I bet you he wasn't making no more than that. So when that fight happened in 2019, who was Tank fighting in 2019? Let's take a look. So in 2019, he was fighting Yorkis Gamboa, Ricardo Nunez, Hugo Ruiz. Then prior to that, he fought Jesus Cuellar. He was the opening act. I know because I was there. And before that, he was fighting Francisco Fonseca. Bro, he wasn't touching $5 million at that time. I bet you he wasn't touching that at that time. Santa Cruz dug Gary Russell for 3 years. Facts. Facts. 2019, Tank was not touching $5 million, cuz I guarantee you that. Shit, crazy. Did Leo Santa Cruz retire? Motherfucker ain't fighting 3 years. Sad. Sad what that PBC do. Sad what PBC done did to so many talented fighters. Like I said, I ain't trying to get into the bread all like that, but like I said, Tevin wasn't the only one. If Tevin, as a businessman, bro, I'm gonna just say this. Like, for example, the perfect example, Teofimo Lopez offered Devin Haney a fight over at Top Rank. Devin Haney and them knew that they could get more bread somewhere else. The bigger payday was over at Riyadh season. So did Devin Haney turn down that deal against Teofimo Lopez with Top Rank? Yes, but not because he didn't want to fight, because he knew that he could get a bigger bag somewhere else. So he went to the other platform, was able to get a bigger offer, bigger deal on the table, and then who turned it down as a result? Teofimo Lopez. So he not gonna sell his soul for $15 million. Then he talked about the $15 million never exists. Listen, all that shit sound good. What I'm telling you is, from how the way that situation looked in 2019, they offered Tevin $2 million. Tevin like, yo, I'm a champion right now. You know, this fight could be a big fight. I feel like I could get more. He brings it over to the zone with Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn offers a bigger bag. Gervonta Davis turns it down. And the fight never happened as a result of that. So listen, it is what it is. I would have liked to have seen Cruz versus Valdez on some Mexican shit. That'd have been all right, John. But they both done. Valdez done. Santa Cruz done. So unfortunately, I don't think that'll happen. Gary Russell should have been pound for pound elite. Yeah, I personally think that the politics of boxing did Mr. Gary Russell dirty. I think his issues with Floyd Mayweather kind of hindered his spotlight over at PBC. And fighting once a year isn't, the best thing to do either when you're trying to get some type of momentum in your career. So I think it was a combination of those things. But Gary Russell was a monster for sure. That's how I knew Triple G was a monster. He said he retired and named his son after Al Heyman. What type of cult shit is that? I don't necessarily gotta be a cult. You know what I mean? Like Al Heyman changed his life. He changed his life for the better, man. That's one thing about Al. He was setting them fighters up. He be setting them fighters up for success long term. And you able to pack Valdez up. Yeah, he'd have beat the man. He'd have fucked Valdez up. Russell Jr. versus Rigo at 122 would have been fire. Hell yeah. Man, I don't think anybody at 22 being a prime Guillermo Rigondeaux, bro. I'm sorry. Like, none of them, bro. He said it's a cult. Niggas think Al Heyman before God. Yo, I remember niggas were saying that was part of their contract, that they had to say thank you to Al Heyman first. Prime Guillermo Rigondeaux, like, yeah. Gary Russell, like 37 coming. They said Gary Russell coming back. They say he's supposed to fight soon. They say he's supposed to fight on what is that? Who undercard he's supposed to be fighting on? Shit. Somebody undercard. Is it Tim Zoo and so Fundora undercard? No, the Pacquiao Barrios prelims. Damn. Yeah, Gary Russell coming back on the prelims. Versus Hugo Castaneda. Coming off a 3-year layoff. Crazy, bro. Crazy. Probably Tank's next opponent. Yo. Mark Magsayo on the prelim. I fuck with Magsayo, bro. I had a fighter who fought just like him, too. Bro, I had a fighter that fought just like Mark Magsayo, bro. Like the offense, the way he rips shots, his explosiveness, punching power, like the dog, like bro. I had a fighter. His name was Chris Gutierrez, bro. He arrested right now. He done got into some bullshit. But I had a fighter that fought just like him. And when that thing about Chris, when he was on, bro, like when he was in the zone, bro, they couldn't fuck with him. And he was elusive too. Like he was rhythmic. So like if he caught like a rhythm, bro, it was like you couldn't hit him and he hit you with everything. Like it was crazy. Wish I would have seen that kid. That kid was talented, bro. Sad what happened to him. Gary is back, Aaron. He's back. You know what I mean? Definitely back. He said he could have came back earlier, but had to take care of his brothers. Yeah, especially after, the father passed away, unfortunately. It's like, it just pretty much got passed on to Mr. Gary Russell. You know what I mean? So that responsibility as, the coach fell on his back. I think that he just began guided by his brother. I think they brothers just all team up and help each other. You know what I mean? And I mean those good, like it's pretty much like the Abdullah Mason brothers. You know what I mean? They all look out for each other, give each other pointers, help each other out. I think that's the same time that the Gary Russell brothers is on. We got any last questions before I get up out of here, man? I am my brother's keeper. Facts. Any last questions before I get up out of here, man? Man, Sayo should go the WBA route because, to be honest, I don't think Roach going back to 130. Yeah, he definitely not, in my opinion. He over here talking about after the Tank fight, he gonna get the winner of a fight at 147. Brian Norman and Devin Haney. Like, what is we talking about? Seems like he do not want to go back to 130. If that's the case, I just wish that people was more like, Russell versus Shakur. Which Russell you talking about? Because Mr. Gary Russell coming back at 130, so I don't know if he's going to 35 for. I don't know if he'll go to 35 for Shakur. Yeah, Lamont definitely too small for 47, especially if he try to sit there and bang with Brian Norman. That'd be a bad job. He tripping. See, these little niggas when they put on a little bit of weight, they all of a sudden feel like they could keep up with the big niggas, bro. That's not what it is. That's not what it is. Man, I walk around 160. Nigga, you're 5'6". With a fucking, with a gut. Nigga, like, stop it. Walk around heavy, though. Okay, and they do, too. They're a lot bigger than you and punch a lot harder than you. Lamont probably feeling like he took a punch, like he could take a punch from Tank. So them niggas at 47 ain't cracking like Tank. He gonna run into a surprise fucking with them. He need to relax. He said Roach gonna go out like Jen if he fight Norman. Yo, that's funny shit. I don't know if any of y'all been concussed before. I mean, I haven't, but I've experienced people who've been like concussed, like knocked out cold in boxing ring. When you're in the middle of being concussed, like when you're in the process of like, you know, dealing with a concussion, you don't remember anything. Your memory is gone temporarily until you recover from that concussion. That's when the memories come back to you. That's usually how it go. Yeah, I seen Rolly with Connor Benn. That was like a little weird exchange. But yeah, it sounded like it was all love. Norman the new Candy Man? Damn. Yeah, because from what I heard, Jen Sasaki, he recollects the things he said he forgot. So he had lost his memory temporarily while he was dealing with a concussion. And now that he's recovering, they said that he remembers things now. Like he remembers what he didn't remember initially. Dev better stick and move to keep his memory. That's crazy. Y'all funny as hell, man. It was a left hook, Lorenzo. Yeah, said first memory Jim about to give is looking at that incoming right hand. I slept in. It was a hook. He jumped into that bitch too. Bang. He remember that dumbass. The last thing he remember is that dumbass jab to the body he threw. I ain't gonna lie. He deserved that shit. That lazy ass jab, that mediocre ass jab he threw, he deserved everything that came behind that bullshit. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna get up out of it, man. I appreciate everybody that came through and showed love as always. If y'all can go ahead and hit the like button on the way out, that'll be very much appreciated. You see what I'm saying? Tomorrow I will be going live from StreamYard. So you know what I mean? We definitely gonna have some people in the building to chop it up with your boy. 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be back to discuss what's currently going on in the boxing world, man. Y'all be blessed. Y'all be safe out here. Y'all hit the subscribe button on the way out. Y'all hit the like button on the way out. Y'all share the video on the way out. I'm out of here, man. Peace.